Hi, I'm Show Pigeon. I'm a tattooer and painter in Orange County, California, and right now we're at Muzeo in Anaheim. It's a museum and cultural center, and I'm doing an artist residency program with them here this summer. So when Muzeo invited me to be their artist in residence, they explained the program to me and said, pitch us an idea for a series or something you would work on while you're here, a body of work. And I had already done one piece that I'd been thinking would make a cool series, and it just fit perfectly with the idea of doing it as a residency project. So I had taken a vintage illustration from an advertisement in a yearbook from 1929, I believe, from Whittier High School, that my friend just stumbled across at a thrift shop. And there was this amazing ad in it that I sort of revived. I did my own version of it as a painting. And I started thinking, man, that would be a cool series, because I'm so influenced by things like Kewpies, old advertisements and old characters, vintage illustration. So when they presented me with the idea, I said, oh, okay, this would be perfect because we're based in, Museo's in Anaheim, and they like to do a lot with the community of Anaheim itself and Southern California in general. So I said, what if my series was taking vintage ephemera, things that were, just advertisements, things made to be temporary. And what if I take the illustrations on those items and use that as the basis of my painting series. So I'm kind of reviving these vintage illustrations, putting my own spin on it, but very purposefully based on those designs to kind of celebrate not only Southern California, but these commercial artists who were real working artists that nobody knows their names. You look at a matchbook and you don't even think about the person behind that illustration, but it becomes so much part of the fabric of the area that you live in when it's attached to these restaurants or businesses. The series I'm working on is a celebration of that. You're good.
How do I pull more? Now there's this line. How do I pull more?
So keep going back. So the residency itself, it's a program that Muzeo started last summer. It's sponsored by Republic Services. The idea of this program is to introduce people to the artist and get them a peek at their process. So part of what I'm doing when people come in, instead of just staring at me working, they can actually try the same painting techniques that I use, which has been incredibly fun. So I have an art station set up. It's for all ages, but kids obviously are very attracted to it because kids love being creative. But with the adults, I've been teaching them actually the techniques that I use because they're curious about how I use the nib for outlining, how I use spit shading, which is my painting technique. And a lot of times, because it has an interesting name, people are very curious about it. And I have a fake spit made up for people to use because we don't want to encourage sharing brushes with people's spit, obviously. What I've been using for the demonstration is just mixing some glycerin in with water, and it works great. So one of the really cool things about this program is getting what people see as tattoo art, because technically it is. The paintings are based on a traditional tattoo painting technique, which doesn't mean that it's the technique that you use when you're making a tattoo, but it means when you're making the designs that you would show as the thing that you would tattoo on a person. That's not the kind of thing you would see in a museum. Normally you go to a museum and you think of very highbrow art, and this is a lowbrow art form. It's a folk art, and that's what I think is really cool and special about them inviting me to do this residency here, because that's sort of the whole idea of this program, is getting people in touch with art that they're maybe not familiar with, that they maybe have preconceived notions about, and seeing, first of all, the artistry behind it, and then also the person behind it. If they're not familiar with people who are heavily tattooed, I'm probably the least threatening person they could ever talk to. I've had people come in and ask me a million questions about tattoos because they're like, is it okay? I don't have any tattoos. And I'm like, hey, this is the time to ask. I'm here working. Let's answer all of your questions. I never would have guessed that the vintage things or dolls that I was interested in would have been so heavily embedded in my career. which has now become a very successful career that I'm making a living off of, and you know, very happy mid-career, and have, you know, sights on where I could grow from here, and it's something that I never would have imagined. I think it's really special because, especially as an artist, I don't know, I think probably with anything, people often think like you need to be a certain type of whatever, a certain type of artist or a certain type of person to be a professional artist. And I think it's really cool that I've been able to make a career off of celebrating things I love, you know, leaning into who I am instead of who I think I'm supposed to be. That's sort of what my whole career has been about. That's what becoming a tattooer was. You know, I grew up more straight-laced and anti-tattoo for just the same stigma reasons that anybody is. And to lean into that and celebrate it, and the series too here, that's the whole idea, is kind of celebrating folk art, untraditional art, commercial art even, things that don't normally get celebrated. The series will go up on July 22nd. There's going to be a reception, free to the public, and there's also going to be a special refreshment at the reception that I'm super excited about. We're doing a collaboration with Tacumbo, which is a local Anaheim ice cream shop. They're doing a special Show Pigeon flavor, and that's going to debut at the reception. So come and have that. And then if you can't make the reception, the show will run through September 3rd, and the flavor will run through September 3rd. You can go to Tacumbo, get the flavor, and then you'll get a discount ticket to get you into Muzeo to catch my reception and all the other amazing shows here on Museo's campus. My website is showpigeon.com, and you can follow me on Instagram at showpigeon, TikTok at showpigeon, and I'm on Threads now too. I've been doing a lot of reels and TikToks of what I've been doing day to day at the residency, so you can get a good peek at that, including images of me teaching people how to spit shade or just working on the series. It's been a lot of fun.